right, we were tasked to go line by line, goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, forward, and kind of give some goals that certain players need to hit for the U.S. men's national team. I'll kick us off, goalkeepers. So these are the goals, or no goals, that I want these guys to be doing. Turner, he's got to play against QPR. In the Carabao Cup, they have one League Cup game and record a shutout. For the goalkeepers, it's all about the confidence. For Patrick Schulte, they've got Campeones Cup, beat America in that. I think if there's any goalkeeper that is the highest in confidence, you would have to say Schulte. And you got to clinch a top 4 berth in the playoffs for the crew. I think that's more of a collective goal.
That's an easy goal.
And finish the season as the goalkeeper with the fewest goals against average. He already is the goalkeeper with the fewest goals against average in the league. Horvath, Cardiff City are absolutely terrible. They're dead last in the championship, and they've conceded so many goals. So talk about confidence, record a couple of shutouts, and get out of the depths of the championship table. That's where our goalkeeping situation is at. Is that not absolutely shocking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of concern. I mean, and then Diego Cochin doesn't even get burned for the first team for Barcelona. He's on their Champions League roster. He's registered, but not going to play. Hopefully our goalkeeping situation improves. I can't pinpoint a moment in time where it was this dire.
It hasn't been.
Yeah, I don't think I can't remember where at least we didn't have one or two just consistent starters. You're like, oh, I wonder which one's going to be the starter. Yeah. We don't have that. It's crazy.
Yeah. I just think it's wild because you look at some of the quality of goalkeepers and the levels that they all played in. Big thing is they all played, and they all played consistently, so definitely wild.
Yeah, the days of Brad Friedel, Casey Keller, that's a long time ago now.
Yeah,
Tim Howard?
Tim Howard, yeah.
Tim Howard, you can
yeah. I'm just thinking of like, oh, who's going to be the two? I mean, we knew when Tim Howard was the guy.
Even Brad Guzan, our backup goalkeeper, was a starter in the Prem.
Yeah.
You say who was the guy?
We knew Tim Howard was the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you so defiant today?
He is. I'm
He gets one shirt from TT.
He just
one shirt.
One
shirt from Thierry.
He just wants smoke.
Yeah, Thierry's fighting spirit coming.
All right,
through.
I'm gonna put you in
Friday
timeout.
energy.
Can I use Sousa's yellow cards and red cards?
Or just tape over the mouth.
All right, tell me what you tasked the defenders
For
with.
defenders, I'm going to give you more of an overall look because we're really not sure who our starting 4 is, and I think that's important. For me, I want to take a look at the center back pairing. Can we, in the month of October, Mauricio Pochettino taking his first look, can he start to figure out what that pairing is? Maybe we don't have to figure out exactly what it's going to be starting in the World Cup, but in the next few matches as we get through, start to get a better picture of what that depth chart is for center backs, and I think center back pairing is extremely important. For fullbacks, we kind of know who our starters are. When everyone's healthy, we know Serginho Dest is going to be on the right, and we know Anthony Jedi Robinson is going to be on the left. But what's that depth chart looking like? Do we know who number 2 is on each side?
Do we know who number 1 is?
I think we understand when all healthy.
When all healthy, but Serginho Dest obviously won't be healthy in October, so
not in October.
Who's number today?
But I think
who's
back
number
in
1
January.
on the depth chart?
Right now, in the month of October, we're going to start to figure out who can compete for that number 2 spot, and potentially for the number 1 spot, right? Because nothing is given. And then as far as attacking-minded versus defensive-minded, within those fullbacks, are we looking for 2 that can venture forward and really help out the attack, or are we looking for one of those fullbacks to sit back and be a bit more defensive? And again, we're talking about depth, not necessarily your starters, unless you have some real growth. In particular, I'm looking at Marlon Fossey. Hey man, I just found out who you are. I was really impressed with what you've done. You're playing for Standard Liège. In the month of October, you have a Belgium Cup match coming up that Standard Liège hasn't won since 2018. Can you be impactful in that first match versus K. Lyra Leeson? Can you show me? Bro, honestly, don't make me do it again. Don't make me do it again, bro. I'm lucky I even got anything close to it out.
You didn't trip when you said it. It was so.
Of course not. So Standard Liège just playing Keller Leeson, and I want to see Marlon Fossey maybe get an assist in that match. Show me that you're impactful, and then I'll be even happier. And I think so will Mauricio Pochettino.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
Any notes? You good?
No.
I agree with you. I was really impressed with Fossey, and now I want to see him do it against better competition in Panama and Mexico, which I think will get a good look. In midfield, I want to start with this. Poch loves to play, typically he's played a 4-2-3-1, played it at Spurs, played it with Chelsea. PSG was a bit different because he had to please all the superstars, so they played a back three. In that 4-2-3-1, we talked about the character or the lack of character with this team, and it brings me to this. I want to see who is going to be that workhorse in midfield. It would be Tyler Adams, but we didn't have anyone that stepped up and took the bull by the horns. Leonard Maloney was a big miss. What he's done with Heidenheim up until the injury before the international break, I think that he could be the guy as a replacement for Tyler Adams, or if Tyler Adams isn't available whatsoever moving forward, going into a World Cup, then give him an opportunity. Hasn't gotten enough looks. And Yunus Musa, it's your time to step up. Is he an 8? Is he a 6? I still think that if you're not going to give Weston McKennie the call-up, which we didn't see Weston in, this was a missed opportunity for Yunus. I want to see more of the Yunus Musa that came off the bench in that match day 1 performance for Milan that was creative, that was taking shots, that was really taking the game by the scruff of the neck. And then in the attack is who can be that spark, that creative force in terms of goals, assists, a true number 10.
You think he's a 6 or an 8? Musa?
I think he's an 8. I don't think he's a 6. When he's in possession of the ball as a 6, he's not clean enough and consistent enough with his passes going forward. As an 8, like we saw at the World Cup with England, his best gift is his strength on the ball and being able to ride tackles, drive forward. Brazil, the same thing. First 10 minutes of the match, he gets it, beats 2 or 3 players, cranks one off the crossbar, and that sets the tone. So I want to see more of that from him.
Where does he fit? Like, if a 6 is your Johnny Cardoso types, your Leonard Maloney type, who's fully fit and ready to go today versus Dortmund.
Leonard Maloney.
And like a Luca De La Torre, because offensively, Luca De La Torre was a good nucleus in the last game. Does Musa sit like in between that type of profile of midfielder?
Just like he did with the U.S. men's national team. Tyler Adams is the 6. He's the 8. He's in the in-between because he's not a 10.
Yeah.
Right.
So
he needs to step
good
it up.
at winning second balls, and he's good on the dribble, being an outlet. He's not great at the tackling portion. He's not great at the spraying balls and his distribution that needs to improve greatly, and he's not great in the attacking third. So those are the areas of his game that he needs to improve.
All right, strikers.
Strikers. We got Balogun, Pepe, Sargent, and it'll be interesting to see if Pochettino thinks that Haji Wright is better up top. It'll be interesting to see if he thinks Timothy Weah is better up top or wide. But ideally, Balogun, for now, in this instance, right, I think he's the number 1 in U.S. Soccer's eyes. And so last year in Monaco in his first season, he had 7 goals, 6 assists, and around 1,700 minutes. The season before at Reims, he had 21 goals in 37 appearances in 3,000 minutes. This year has 2 starts in 1 game, 2 starts, and then 1 game he didn't come off the bench. And Monaco is in a situation where they're trying to figure out who is their starting striker. He's in competition with Brillon Bolo, the Switzerland international, and neither of them have a goal and neither of them have assists. For me, he needs to solidify the starting spot at Monaco. That's one. So playing regularly and then getting into a rhythm, because it feels like since he's made that move, he hasn't been able to establish himself at his club, which then carries over into your international form. So needs to get going there. Ricardo Pepi, he's doing all he can do. Luke de Jong is the captain. He's 34 years old. He's a starting striker. He's playing behind him. But in terms of his output, he has 1 goal and 4 assists, Luke de Jong, this season. Ricardo Pepi has 1 goal and 3 appearances. He has 92 minutes. He's on pace to shatter his minutes last season at PSV. So he's just got to keep chipping away. Every time he comes in, be impactful, keep getting the goal, keep getting the assist, chipping away at more and more time, and eventually you will start getting maybe coming in at the 60th minute, getting a start here and there, and then it's part of that transition of Luke de Jong, okay, this is your last season as a captain.
I wonder, that's the biggest question, because Pepe wanted to stay at PSV, and is there a plan to usher out? Right,
he's
for
21 years old.
But Luke de Jong is 34. It's not like he's 37.
34
okay,
versus 21.
For sure, I get it.
And someone who's competing. He had 8 appearances last year in the Champions League.
Can he beat him out for a starting position is the question this season.
He's the captain. That's going to be
there's
But the captain doesn't
there is no
solidify
way
you like
In the
that.
second
unless
half of the
injury.
season, there's a
And
possibility.
there you
The
go.
second
That's the
half of the
question.
season.
I don't think you get more protected because you're the captain. If you're better and you're scoring more goals, and maybe Pepe can prove that he's
And
doing
then
that.
Josh Sargent has to stay healthy
There we go.
because he is already the main man at Norwich. So